Hello, my name is Rick Hake. I'm a candidate for Congress in District 2 of Oregon, and I'd like to approach a subject today that needs addressed, and it's election law reform. Stalin said, "I don't care if the people have the vote, just give me the people who count the vote." And in our country today, we have a similar situation where we cannot trust our voting system. The electronics have come in and pretty much put it in the hands of, well, maybe it's okay and maybe it isn't. We need to be sure of our election process. We have voter fraud that's been verified around the country by a book called Voter Fraud. And we have several sources that are showing that this is not something new, that this is going on. And we're not talking about the crime syndicate like they had in Chicago where they rigged the votes. We're talking about just regular places. Power makes men do whatever they need to do to get it, and we need to eliminate that possibility. We need to eliminate it by any means of counting our votes by electronic means, or any method by using electronic methods, including scanners, to count our votes. A couple of engineering students proved how easily this can be done with just a couple of minutes alone with the machine. They rigged the votes. And it was a demonstration, of course, but just proved the point that how easy this can be done. Here in Oregon, the county clerks don't even have to count the write-in votes. The law says that they only have to count the write-in votes if the total of those votes meet or exceed the leading candidate's votes on the ballot. Now, my big question is, how do they know unless they count them? I mean, this is like a catch-22 thing. Some people are openly admitting they give their ballots to their 16-year-old and say, fill it out, mail it in. The Constitution says that the ballots should be free and equal. And right now, that's not happening because if you're running for political office, for example, for a major party, you have to pay a fee to get on the ballot, and that should be wrong. The Constitution says free and equal, and I interpret that in my own ignorant way of saying free means free and equal means equal. Everybody should be, regardless of your race, your color, your religion, you should be able to get on the ballot if you want to be on the ballot. If you're not a member of a party, you have to get a huge amount of signatures. It amounts to like 1.5% of the last governor's race to get your name on the ballot. Now, if most of these rules are structured by the Republicans and the Democrats to keep the little party people out, how hard do you think that's going to be to get a huge amount of signatures from people who are interested in you competing with their party? This law should be changed. There's a lot of rules that are clearly unconstitutional, but they are designed for one thing, and that's to keep the power in the hands of those that are in the government, the big box parties. I have some ideas to reform the election process, and I'd like to go over them with you. For the first thing is stop the mail-in vote. Return to the polling booth. To do otherwise is the only excuse you can use is it interferes with your TV time. We shouldn't be lazy citizens. We should be willing to get up and do our civic duties when it's called for. And I remember it as a wonderful time to get to meet my neighbors and go through the process. We also probably need to enact a holiday on that day so employers can't require their people to work through the voting process, so they know they'll be off to vote. We need to have the vote counted by hand, no electronics involved, and witnessed by observers from all the parties concerned. So if you have 4 parties in a race during election time, there should be representatives from their parties up there witnessing the voting or the count process. Some county clerks will allow this now, but it should be mandatory. We need to count and tally all votes. It's not enough to say I have 300 write-in votes. The clerk needs to say who those votes are for and how many got them. So their big complaint now is a lot of people vote for Donald Duck goofy, and nowadays the modern version is the Simpsons, so Howard Simpson. So there are a lot of people trying to tell people things with their votes, and this is a valid vote. When a candidate runs as a write-in candidate, he has no way of judging whether there's any interest in him or not unless he knows how many votes he gets. Well, I don't think you can say that Joe Blow got 300 votes and there was 40 others for other people. You have to list them all so we know how many votes came in. We need to change the laws to eliminate any fees or requirements to run for any office. I know I hear a lot of people saying, well, you'd have a ballot 40 people wide. Well, so what? This is America. You're supposed to be able to run for office if you want to. And the election process will thin them down considerably. We need to make the State Elections Division a separate government agency that is not elective, with no official ties to any party, but regulates and rules the election process with an air of neutrality and subject to oversight. Right now, whoever the Secretary of State is, in our case, it's a Democrat, and he runs it from a Democrat bias. And this is not fair, and it doesn't work out. Also, and this is a very big thing, we need to have a news blackout on the voting counts until the last votes are past the deadline in Hawaii. So the whole nation knows at the same time who was elected, and we aren't hearing from the East Coast that so-and-so's ahead, and by the time it gets to the Midwest, so-and-so is definitely ahead. So now people in Oregon or California are tempted not to even bother go voting because their candidate's not even close. Or worse yet, some guy wants to be with the winner, so he goes out and votes for the one that's leading. We need to have this information stopped until the election doors close. The doors to receive ballots are closed in Hawaii, our last time zone. And you can see my sources for my information at my website. Just click on www.rickhake.com and click on election reform, and you'll see my sources there. I hope I get your vote. Thank you.